Live. It doesn't seem like we're live, but it's saying, oh, now we're live? Hold 30 seconds. Come on, StreamYard.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and thanks for your support.
I guess we'll just go uncuffed here. I got Kicker Club over here. The Unmasked show just ended. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we're here to have fun as we always do. This is the Kicker Unmasked After Show, brought to you by Living Loud with Andy. Yes, I'm talking in third person. What is going on, everyone? I felt like, we could do the intro and outro. We'll do the outro because we need a caboose. But for the intro, you guys are already ready. Watching the Unmasked After Show, you guys are already ready. The popcorn's already out. Maybe you just had to refill it. Either way, I appreciate you guys tuning in and just being here with me today, man. I got a picture here from Brandon. He sent to me. He was talking to me on the Unmasked show, and he inverted the L7Xs. He's got 3 of these on I think it's a Surge Audio. Yes, Surge Audio 7K. And they are taking it, and he says he wants more power. That's awesome, Brandon. Thank you for sending me that. Appreciate you so much, and I appreciate all you guys tuning in, hanging out with us. And, I miss doing the Unmasked After Show, not going to lie, because, there's a lot of things to talk about, after the show. But they were throwing up comments tonight, which was awesome, answering your guys' questions. I even had some questions, too, man. It was an awesome... Oh, shoot, I forgot. There we go. Too many cameras. I had some questions, too, about the key and the 360 and just, the pre-outsource and all that fun stuff and setting that and the key lock, the whole 9, and planning your system. It was an awesome show. Tim, awesome to see you, too. And, of course, Ernie behind the switcher, Bill, and J-Dub, and John, and I forget her name. Shoot, I should know her name. Either way, can't wait to see her system put together. And, speaking of which, her system is going to be an awesome setup with the Kicker. I think they're going to go with the comps. Let me pull up my computer here. I had it on the second screen here. Too many switches. The Dual 10s, I think they said the Dual 10 comps or the comp Cs. That's what I would go with, alongside the CX800.1. Honestly, that is a perfect, just budget setup, kicker sound, efficient, and it's gonna go the distance, man. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. What is going on, Gage? Appreciate you, Baba. The Air Show. He's at the Air Show again. Man, I seen an F-22 on, eBay for sale. So I don't know. Maybe Cornut is trying to get one. Appreciate you tuning in. Baba, yes, he is still at Reno. I may be MIA again if I'm not back from dinner yet. Heading to Atlantis for their buffet. Man, he is going to the lost city of Atlantis. Cornut, you're crazy, man. Appreciate that you are here. He's just saying that now just so, he can take the caboose. He'll still be like, these guys ain't... Cornet's not going to be fighting for it. Oh, he just might. Appreciate you, man. And again, awesome show. And I appreciate you guys tuning in here afterwards. Appreciate you. Jeff Wallace, I know this might sound cheesy, but you're legendary. You know what? I love it. Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate you tuning in. Sound Doctor... Got to see your face. I think you just joined Kicker Club. I'm like, dude, that is awesome. The Sound Doctor is there. He is here. Appreciate all you guys. Chris Miller in Kicker Club. Drew Landers, he was posting up some builds on Kicker Club too with his L715. Appreciate all you guys. Well, I might as well just sit here and go through the comments and see what we got here. Of course, we got El Fuego. He's always tuning in nice and early. Appreciate you, El Fuego. Thank you for being here. And Double E, it's okay, man. You're on the other side of the world, and I'm just happy you are able to make it when you can. Appreciate you. Uncle Bobby B. Hello, Andy. We got Uncle Bobby B.
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Uncle Bobby B.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And I got a few things to talk about too towards the end of the show. We're only going to run this 30 minutes just because this is the after show, and we got an after party after the after show. So if you guys want to tune into that, I have a link. I'm going to drop it down into the chat. This is the Discord after party. We hang out for about a half an hour after the shows and just kibitz, car audio or not. And sometimes we like to play games, and Kibo's in charge of that. Appreciate everybody hanging out with me tonight. And if you guys got any other questions maybe I could answer about the UnMasked show or planning your system, this is what we do this for, man. Appreciate you guys. Yes, 25. It is gonna rain. You know, I heard it was raining in Stillwater. I was pretty sad. I'm like, it's always sunny in Stillwater, you know, like Philadelphia, but better. And because it's definitely not sunny in Philly all the time. And no, Blake said it was raining, so I was very upset. Good morning, SDK Enclosures. Thank you for tuning in. William, hey, kicking it, Kicker Unmasked After Show with Andy. Andy, you're a rock star. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, William. I appreciate you, man, and thank you for always being here with us. And I still need to ship out that other bass knob to you. I actually lost the box, and I think I found it when I was cleaning. I've been doing a lot of rearranging in here. You can't see it yet. Just going through things, and you know what have yous. I got an ice maker and a water dispenser up here too now. It's great, man. If I run out of water, I just take 3 steps over there. It's awesome. It's the little things, man. Kyle, what is up? Thank you for tuning in from Facebook land. Appreciate that you are here tonight. Man, I can't wait to see your build. I know it's probably not going to be done till next year, but to see that at Slamology, hopefully, with all those L7Xs, it's going to be interesting, man. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. There's the Sound Doctor again. What is up? Thank you for tuning in. Jason Grant, good evening, everybody. Thank you, man. I appreciate all you guys. Jason, we need a heads up of how your L7X build is going. I think Mo was asking about it in the after party or one of the Discords. So let me know as soon as you can. We need to know. If you didn't know, Jason Grant won the L7X on Living Loud with Andy Day back in May 23rd. So yeah, we did that. We gave away a lot of stuff. And I would say at least on that day, we gave away more than any live stream has ever done. I don't know, man. It was a lot of stuff. Estimate retail probably $6,000. You guys were insane, and it's Living Loud with Andy Day, man. Appreciate you, man. All you guys tuning in. Budget J, what is up, everybody? Good evening, as always. You know, I felt like this show tonight was just going to be awesome with just planning your system. It's kind of like a my topic thing, you know, planning your setup, and that's why I even threw in the live stream on my channel, because we do that. I know you guys already know, but the ones that don't, threw in the little poll. I like doing that on my channel because we stream both Kicker and mine for the UnMasked show of what you guys do, you know, and a lot of you guys say, hey, I already know what I'm doing, and that's the best thing, man, and that's what we all strive to do, is to teach and help people so that they don't keep making mistakes, keep reordering, saying, oh man, I thought it was going to work, but it didn't, you know. And that's even my thing too with buying stuff, and especially with like lithium batteries, DIY stuff, because I'm starting to get into that. And I'm like, do I need this? What size do I need? Screw pattern, nut pattern, just everything. It just kind of goes crazy. And the more you know, where you have friends that can help you out, it goes the distance, man. And planning your system, it's really a thing. It keeps me up at night. That's why I put it on there. I'm like, this keeps me up at night, planning the system, and then eventually you buy, just so you're not buying twice. But hey, maybe I buy 2 things because I can't. It's fun, man. You know what I mean? Dave, RGA, thank you for tuning in. I want to know who won David versus Goliath. I keep seeing it, but I don't know who won. Appreciate you tuning in. Basehead30, what is up? Thank you for tuning in as well. We got Mr. Blake up in here. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Jason Grant. Oh, okay. It was Stokes. Jason Grant and Jason Stokes. I always get you guys confused, but either way, Jason Grant, he be dropping super chats too, man. This guy is a supporter. Thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight. Sorry about that. It was going to happen eventually. You guys are nuts. What's up, Garrick? Thank you for tuning in, man. Hope you're doing well. All right, cool. Let's see. All right, I hope StreamYard's working. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to pull up on my YouTube here. my studio. I had it up and then I locked it down because I check it out during the kicker show, and I accidentally shut it down. I need that up so I can see everything that's going on. I've been doing a lot of stuff here on the side, you know, behind the scenes, but I usually like to have this up over here so I can see what's going on the stream and make sure that everything is good. Okay, awesome, cool. So we got only 12 likes. Oh, come on, man. 12 likes. It's all good. All right, as you can see, I got that situated over there. I can see what's going on, and awesome, cool. Ernie, gotta drive, guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Awesome job, Ernie. Appreciate you tuning in while listening in. It's just I'll get a little closer on the mic here, so it sounds like an actual audio podcast. Thank you for tuning in, Ernie. Appreciate you, all that you do, and drive safe tonight. Awesome. Appreciate it. And that is the guy. Thank you for tuning in, Ernie. See, everyone else is saying Ernie, 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 Ernie. Steven16, do you know why my amp is clipping? Man, you know, there are so many reasons why your amp is clipping. It's probably from all the knobs turned to the right. No, it could be that, or it can just be lack of electrical, where your amplifier is straining to do what it can, but it can't because there's not enough voltage, not enough power, input power, and that can cause an amp to clip earlier than it would if it had sufficient power. So there's always that, and let alone, you know, if you actually have your gains set with your amount of pre-out source that you're sending it, aka the power from the head unit going from the RCAs to the amplifier. And there's a way to match it. We already did a nice Kicking with Andy show last Tuesday about, you know, DD1 versus SPL Lab and, you know, setting with the multimeter. There's ways to do it, and there's tools out there. If you haven't watched that, go check that video out. Skip about 30 minutes in, you'll see the actual testing, and we got it. It's live, folks. We run into problems sometimes, but either way, got the point across of just showing, you know, what type of equipment to use to find out if you're clipping or not. Honestly, 9 chances out of 10, even if you have everything set right, you're probably still clipping. And I'm going to tell you this why, just for the simple fact, everybody expects more out of their system. It may be getting louder, but you may be adding distortion, and that's clipping. So it all depends which way you look at it. It really does. But you can clip a little bit, you'll be okay. It's just how hard you're clipping. Clipping pretty much just means you're sending a square wave rather than a nice round one. And let's just say subwoofers can't dissipate that heat quite as well. And yeah, that's what makes the subwoofers blow. Really, if you have a system that is way overpowered, like your amplifier is just huge, you'll never clip because the sub is going to run into mechanical clipping. And that's a whole nother thing where you're just reaching full extension of the driver. And you're really never going to send a dirty signal. And I feel like that is the way to go. A little bit more so, but then sometimes people won't even hit that mechanical limit and they're just sending way too much power, and it doesn't matter if they're clipping or not, which they're not in that case. It's just too much power. So do I know why your amp is clipping? No, I have no clue. But there's a few ways to just kind of, you know, check your boxes and see what's going on with your setup. And again, it's just you're expecting too much out of your system. Upgrade the enclosure, upgrade your electrical, upgrade your subwoofers. Kind of have realistic expectations. If you want more, buy more, pay more. It's just the name of the game. Awesome. Dustin B, I like your kicker badge on your fractal case. Fractal case on the alternator, maybe. That might be what he's talking about, the kicker alternator. Yeah, that actually was designed for kicker. That's my guess on that question. But thank you, Dustin. Either way, and those alternators are awesome. That thing's actually trending on YouTube right now. It got like 4,000 views today, just a short. Like, that's a lot, and I posted it like 2 weeks ago. So maybe that's why, but I appreciate you tuning in. Alt is crying for dear life. That could be why you're clipping. Yes, Sound Doctor. Absolutely. Ryan Moore, what is going on? Thank you for tuning in. We got Joe Price as well from Kicker Club, Adrian Hernandez, Tim Smith, Spencer, Bob. Bob's always tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Melissa. That means so much. And, I feel like these podcasts can get, kind of repetitious of just the same old. And I like when I get certain questions that, I can answer. It's fun and to spread out the knowledge and just, of what I can and try to keep it as the least amount of wasted or misinformation as I can. Thank you so much, Melissa, and I appreciate everything that you do for the community and Base Wars. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, this is not Jason Stokes. Jason Grant. Always start with upgrading the electrical. And absolutely, man, I feel like a lot of people, and I know this is a thing, and people make memes about it all the time. You buy an 8K amplifier and you put it on a stock alt and you can make a great meme of it and a pretty big bonfire in the back of your car. Electrical is key, and there's a thing I want to talk about towards the end. I mean, we're almost there. I mean, we're only doing this for a half an hour anyway. So what I also wanted to talk about today, a few things. I've been doing a lot in the background and doing stuff around the house, but I love to just dip into car audio as much as I can because, life, kids. So, electrical. I am purchasing, well, I purchased, they're on the way, they'll be here Thursday, Planano lithium batteries, and I'm taking out the JY HB40s, the Yinlong 40s out of the car, which are Seth's. Those are his batteries, so I can give those back. And I might do a little comparison of that, but that's a whole nother thing. I had a Salt MD20 from JY Power beside that Yinlong 40. And I'm like, I don't need that in the car, so I took it out and I wanted to put it in Kayla's car. I put it in Kayla's car. Long story short, she has 2 AGMs and that sodium-ion battery, which is awesome. And I talked to Travis before the show just to be like, hey, from my understanding, those sodium-ion batteries are okay to mix chemistries with because, at least from what you're saying, you can run it down to 0 volt without any problem. Well, maybe a lower voltage drop from a parasitic battery isn't going to hurt the battery as bad as it could with another chemistry. So I have those all together, and my God, did it make a difference. It made a huge difference in Kayla's car with the L7X on the KXA 2400. I need to remeter it, and I feel like it should be louder, but how much louder, I don't know. It's windier, and I just, it's louder, and I hope I get a 49. That would be cool. It already does a 48.4 at 34 hertz, give or take, 34, yeah, that one's 34. Either way, it takes power to make power, man. Those KXA 2400s are great, and they're kind of loosely regulated, supposedly. They'll make power even though your voltage is crap. And so when you upgrade your electrical, you will gain, but you won't gain as much as you would with an amplifier that's not built the same way, where you'll see greater gains because, hey, voltage is better, more power. With the KXA line, not the CX and the DX or anything else like that, with the KX line, even though that your voltage is low, what happens is the amplifier, for some reason, pulls more current, which, makes it, though regulated, to do the same amount of power as it would at a higher voltage. And that's just efficiency and just how things work. When you look at an amp dyno, you look at the efficiency, voltage, and current, and if you just swap them, it makes the same power. So that's kind of what it does. So whenever you upgrade your electrical on a KXA, you might not get much louder, but the amplifier is going to love you for it. And the amplifier should play a little bit more efficiently at that same amount of power just because the voltage is better. It's not stressing it. Lots of factors. But yes, electrical is key, man. It really is, and I can't stress that enough. And that's why I'm going down the road of DIY lithium and stuff like that, just because I want to learn more. I want to see all the features. I love the pre-built kits. I got the JY NXTs, I got the JY HP40s, and I got the MD JY, and I love them. They're great. But if you can do it yourself, for those that can, you can get more power per se for your dollar. But they also have their place as well, just for the simple fact you don't got to do nothing but hook up some terminals and you got a good product, and that's where they fit. That's where they fit. Absolutely. Awesome. Cool. Let's see what else I missed on the comments here. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. We got a $5 super chat from Kibo. $5 super chat because we are here.
Well, would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it.
Just look at it. That's all you can do. Thank you, Kibo. Appreciate you, man. And just because. Thank you, Kibo. Appreciate you, man. This guy's always hanging out with us. Rookie of the year, no matter which way you look at it. Thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Come on, Jeff. We see ya. Like the toys on Toy Story. I see everything. You know, like I do, and I try to skim through as much as I can. It's kind of impossible, but this show's a little bit slower, so I can get through it. And that's kind of how Friday was too, and I love those kind of pace shows where I can just talk, the chat's not going crazy, and I can actually answer some questions along the way. And I'm kind of glad I got the camera kind of panned that way, because it is a mess on the couch here. Just got cardboard boxes, the Auto Sound 2000 just sitting there, Solo X Spare, drop-in kit just sitting over there. Like, it's not super messy, but I've been doing a lot around here. It works. Love you too, RGA. Voice didn't just crack there. Jake is out of pennies. He is out of pennies. Oh, good. Custom and performance. Hey, Andy, what kind of battery do you have for your sound system? Well, I have three main systems. Cookie Monster, the Solo X18 with Warhorse 10K. It's got a high output alternator, Ohio Gen 320. But for the batteries, it's got two JY HP40s, which no longer exist anymore. But they're in the car and they're great. And I think you can, you can always get them secondhand, but still, awesome batteries. Lithium iron phosphate, two of those bad boys. And in the quad box, well, Pilot. Right now it has the Yinlong 40, just one bank. It will have the Plananos 24 amp hour, one bank as well. Less amp hour, 24 amp hour compared to 40 of the Yinlongs. And I'm just going with that. I was going to go with two banks, but I want to do a nice comparison video, kind of ish, maybe. Or at least for my own knowledge of testing stuff, to see bank for bank, for dollar, these are actually cheaper, and they have 30C of discharge compared to 10 on the Yinlongs. So C rate is just, the amount of current times divided by the amp hour. That's kind of how they look at it. So the Yinlongs are 40, 10C, 400 amps of continuous discharge. Peak, whichever way you want to look at it, 30-second burst, who knows? I need to look more into it. I seen something on Alibaba, at least for the Plananos, of actual bench tests of constant 30-second burst, whatever. And the Plananos are only 24 amp hours, but they got a rating of 30. So they can do 720 amps at the same what the Yinlongs can do at 400. So a little bit more discharge. I think less stress on the battery. I might be doing more cycles because it's less capacity, but they got 20,000 cycles. I don't know. I feel like to kill a battery, you really kind of gotta, purposely kill it, not pay attention. And then Kayla's car, she got the two AGMs and on the Salt MD 20, and both those cars are on stock alternators. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. And looks like we got, yep, we got Scar Bucks. Nope, those aren't Scar Bucks. Those are Explode Bucks. Thank you, Dub. Let's talk about buttered Andy sausage. Man, you really threw me into the lion pin on that one. Thank you, Dub. And I got the extreme butter popcorn from Walmart, so I'm all ears, man. Thank you so much for the Explode Bucks. That's what I'm saying, RGA. That is exactly what I'm saying. Oh, come on, man. I might know a guy that can rap. But he kind of sounds like Eminem, though. Might know a guy. Let's see. SS. This isn't SS Wilson, but we got SS. I hate outgrowing the levels of trunk violence. That sounds like King Kong in the trunk. Just another term of it. Appreciate you tuning in, SS. And, I guess you could say outgrowing the trunk, where, you can only fit so much back there. And that's whenever you take the back seats out and you can say, yeah, it's starting to get a little serious here. And yeah, then you build a wall, or you just, get a bunch of blue shag and call it a day. You missed it. He missed the super chat. I got you, Keybo.
Well, would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it.
Just look at it. That's all you can do. Trap House TV, $2 super chat. He's throwing out the pennies, getting the pennies going tonight. Hey, friend. Thoughts on the 76 amp hour of LEV 60F batteries? I think it's 74 or 60. Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. And the LEV 60 batteries, let me think, what chemistry are those? Lithium iron phosphate, but those are like a prismatic kind of block cell. And Base Dad did a nice review on them, talking about them. And the guy, I should know his name, always fights with Brad, did a few videos on those batteries and selling it for $150 uncompressed. But I would tell anybody that has a lithium battery, a DIY battery, and it's a prismatic cell, unless it's got the very hard outer case like very few do, and those are expensive, always want to compress those just in case, because once you go over 3.4 volts or whatever it happens to be, you start charging that thing, they swell up, the pouches inside swell up, and then it'll deform. That's why you want to keep them compressed. But either way, you can't beat it. Electrical and just how cheap it is for how much power you can get nowadays is astronomical. Even with the AGMs, maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago, when they were, at least to me, like, oh man, yeah, put this in your car, were a lot more energy dense compared to a lead acid, at least in my opinion. And now you have this just lithium, it's just taking over just everything in all different types. If you're, I don't want to say if you're inexperienced, don't buy these, because kind of, but if you are, intermediate, you kind of know how to play with batteries and how they work and not to over discharge them, recharge them, yada yada, and you're running your system like you should, then absolutely go out and buy these batteries, man. Just because how energy dense they are, kind of. I mean, it's still lithium iron phosphates, nothing crazy, not no C-Max, but or LTO. But it all depends what you're trying to do with voltage and range and stuff like that, and recharge rates. And there's a lot to batteries. So, do they work? Absolutely, man. If you run them within reason, just like anything in life, it'll work great. I'm all for finding cheap things that work good, but to be like, oh yeah, go buy this battery now. I'm not going to go and say that, because you got to have the experience. That's what's great about they're more expensive, but the put together pre-built batteries, because 9 chances out of 10, I'm not saying every single one out there was extreme lithium. That was a thing. Go Google it. Well, Facebook it. You'll find a bunch. Not the best pre-built battery, but still, like nowadays, there's a curve where it's like, hey, build good batteries, people will buy from you. And they kind of list on maybe don't do this. And there's trade-offs even with that, but that's a rabbit hole. I think the LEV 60s are great and they work good. Appreciate you tuning in, Trap House TV. Bubba coming with the $5 super chat. He says, roll the bean. Oh no! Props to our man, Dave Koslick. We gotta do both.
Yeah, don't forget to hit the like. You gotta hit the like. Love them. It's real easy. That thing that goes like this. Pretty simple.
Well, would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it.
Thank you, Bubba. And thank you for Dave telling everybody to smash the like. I think it's doing pretty good now. We got 23 likes, 27 people watching, 28 on StreamYard. So that means one person's watching on Kicker Club. I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you, Bubba. Appreciate you. And come on, hit the like, guys. Hit the like. 25 says make it rain. And you know what? We got another $2 super chat. We got the more Scarred Bucks. No, they're the Explode Bucks, man. Every time this guy. And I don't know if you guys seen anything, but StreamYard totally froze on my end. I don't know what's going on in StreamYard. You're acting funky. I might have had it loaded up too long. Thank you so much, Dubby. Donation for a level 2 SDK enclosure for Andy. You know what? That level 1 is doing darn good. And it's floating hair. I want to get a video of Bryson's hair because me, Kayla, and Bryson were sitting in the car, and he was just sitting by the corner of the front window. It's just going woo, woo, woo. I'm like, dude, this is nuts. This is a single 12. You guys are gonna have to wait till probably Friday to see that. It's gonna be awesome. I mean, level 2, whenever, you know what I mean, Jake? I mean, we can make an SPL box. That would be, you know, like, let's see how loud we can get this darn thing in this car. We already know she likes 30 hertz in there. But we got to try some 45, 50 hertz. That would be insane to have the loudest L7X. Not coming at Derek or anything. He got me by 0.4 dBs. But if I can get a 50 plus out of a single 12, that would be insane. And wait a minute. We got a $50 super chat from Jason Grant. I hope those videos are rolling, because as soon as I post it up, it just freezes. And that was a brand new video. Let me know if it works. I hope it's not the internet. It's 100% not the internet. It's definitely just StreamYard being StreamYard. But Jason, thank you so much with a $50 super chat. PSE, yes you did, for Andy and this group. I'm guessing that's for PSE mentality. That's Garrick. Thank you. Limitless lithium for life. Absolutely. My friend JR actually got a Cyber 12K lithium iron phosphate. Good stuff, man. Thank you again, Jason Grant. Man, you're nuts. I told you this guy, he comes out in super chats. Big time. Both the Jasons do, but Jason Grant, this guy, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Is that on the right? Yeah, we're on the right camera. Thank you, Jason. Man, you know, I'm glad I did those 2 videos new tonight. I'm like, I have to. We need something different. 50 and 100 were the same. I hope that went through. Let me know if that went through. It just froze on my end. I don't know why. But either way, had to throw up those videos. I'm like, yes. And thank you, Jason. I appreciate you, man. You're awesome. And you guys are killing it. And we got another super chat. I see you, Trap House. 25 likes, 26 concurrent viewers. You guys are awesome. Again, Jason, thank you so much. Thank you. We got a $10 super chat, and it's Tuesday.
This is what makes time travel possible. The flux capacitor.
Flux capacitor.
See, that one worked great. I don't know. Trap House, thank you, man. Stock alternator charging at 14.3, and I bought the compressed version with the blocks for 280 shipped. Should I upgrade my acid battery under the hood for AGM? I also bought 2 G210 Genesis for 300 off Facebook. 2 G210s. Okay, so those are the subwoofer G2s. Okay, I've seen those. I think, what was it? EXO or somebody was showing those off. Know the owner. Awesome guy. So if you got a stock alternator and you got probably lead acid under front because you want to change the front battery to AGM, my suggestion to you, I'm not just going to ram lithium down your throat and say just go lithium, but if you want to go, I guess you could say even in the safe route, but lithium has become so safe with just different chemistries and just running it right and balancers. It's just, if you know what you're doing, you're fine. You run one of the pre-builts like we were mentioning, you'll be fine. But the problem you're always going to run into is resting voltages between your front and rear battery. And I know a lot of people say isolators are bad, they're blah 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 blah, but if you got one alternator up front, and even if you had 2, just run 2 isolators, 2 separate charge wires running from each alt going to the back, because they come with like a 500 amp isolator. And I just picked up another one for the Pilot just so I can run my AGM up front. And even AGMs under the hood technically aren't really built for under hood use, even though they are. They'll even say good under the hood, but really the chemistry is just not, itself is not great for high heat. Lead acid works a lot better, and even lithium's not at all. It's just not. So, and I don't want to speak too far out of my realm, but, you know, it's just some things you don't put under the hood. So with the lead acid being under there, and what you should do, honestly, before you even change that front battery, if you don't have one already in the back, add something in the back. Man, I can't stress it enough where it just makes a big difference compared to having a, you know, you can have, even if it was safe under the hood, a lithium under the hood, that's 15 feet away from the amplifier, you're going to have a lot more draw because it has to go so far from that initial source. So I tell people, and what a lot of people do, and what most people do, is run a battery in the back of their car nice and close to that amplifier, because a lot of that draw, most of that draw is going to be going a foot or two distance, and that is it. So what happens is, yes, that battery gets drained and the charge wire can't charge as fast, stock alt in most situations. So the battery becomes weak and, you know, eventually gets, you know, tired, and you can tell your voltage starts to drop. Subwoofer gets quieter. So for sure, add one in the back if you're going to get an AGM or any lithium or something like that. And even if you have an AGM, you should run an isolator technically with that lead acid up front. Now, other people might say, hey, maybe you should just run battery delete up front and run your AGM in the back of the car. And there's pros and cons with that too. I even had issues with, you know, running a battery delete in front of the car and hooking up my alt charging wire to that battery delete, which really wasn't a battery, just a top post terminal. I was having charging problems with the regulator. It just wasn't sensing the battery. And here all I had to do was run the charge wire directly from the alternator to the battery in the back, and then another charge wire going from the back battery to the front of the car, rather than the way I did it with the battery delete, then battery in the back. So there's some things you can run into. And I'm trying to give you all the answers left and right, just so that you don't, you know, hey, what about this? So if you're going to do it, leave the lead acid in the front of the car. Get an isolator. I just picked one up from Recoil. I know, Robot Underground. Recoil for $55, and they make good stuff. You can get one from Stinger for like $79. Either way, it's real easy. You just hook up like a fuse, positive. Just works like a fuse, but not really. It's not a slow blow or anything like that. But you would connect it with two ring terminals like you would a fuse. And then secondly, has a relay switch. So you just need a positive and a, positive switch and ground. It just as a relay, just to turn it on. There's a ground, there's a positive, and all I did was get one of those little fuse adapters that have a wire coming out. So in the fuse block in the car, just run it to that. You can run it to a separate switch if you had one, and just so it would get power to open the relay so that the power, or close the relay so that the power goes through, and connecting the batteries. And why that's an issue is not for when you're playing your system. It's not. It's not at all. When you're playing your system and your car is on, batteries are all connected, it's never going to have an issue unless you're undercharging or overcharging something. But those batteries and most chemistries will work together if you're running in your system. It's the resting voltage. That's the issue, where when you have your car shut off and you're sitting there for a long time, what happens is the batteries start to equalize. It's physics. Everything wants to become equal. And that's why your ears, you know, get pressure in your ears, and you got to yawn, open, and swallow, whatever. And then your ears pop because they're trying to equalize. Well, that's what these batteries are doing inside too. They're trying to equalize. And when it's charging, it's fine. They're staying here. But when they get down here and then there's no input voltage, the battery that has more power over here is going to get pulled down compared to the one that's down here. It's going to come down to the level of the lower one and kind of meet in the middle. It's physics. So definitely run an isolator. I ran not an isolator for years and it worked totally fine, and you're just doing a little bit of damage to your battery. Can you get away with it? Absolutely. Do you need to do that? No. Do I suggest it? Yes. Thank you for tuning in again, Trap House, with both the super chats. You, Jason, and Dubby, and Kibo, you guys are all killing it, and appreciate all you guys. Let's see. Jeff, he's a good guy. Would you look at that? There's one. All right. All right, cool. I'm caught up down there. Yes. Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, we went over 30 minutes, huh? I hope that answered your question, though, Trap House. I tried the best we could. Saw the video. Annie, would you consider my system mild or wild? I know I totally forgot about the subject here. But you know what? You guys got questions, and this is what we do. Your system is the mix. It's like the, okay, so they got the mild, and then they got the hot, and then they got the fire. Yours is, I would say, more of a hot. It's not a mild. It could be considered a mild to a guy that does 165s at 20 hertz. We know them. But to the average consumer, it is definitely not mild. It gets down 18, and I mean, everything's flexing. That's more than a lot of people got. Thank you for tuning in, Blake. I appreciate you, dude. Big time. I know, mild or wild, what system? You know, I feel like it all really does depend. Your budget, what you're trying to go for. You know, we all start off mild, you know, unless you know a guy. And then it just becomes wild really fast. Then you're cutting things and you're doing things, you're pulling things in and out, pulling it in and out, trying different stuff, just, you know, rambling in your brain. Like, I want to get louder. I want it to be like this. And then you get it there and then you want more. It's just a revolving door and it gets wilder and wilder as you go. Dubby, Andy, how's the easiest way to know what I'm looking at with AGM batteries? Usually doesn't have C rating. Very, very, very good question. And I asked, was on the Big Jeff show. I asked, what's his name from Excess Power? Shane. Oh, I should know his name. Anywho, asked him about that. And he says that they don't really do C ratings. And I'm like, but how? Why not? And I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense if you look at the chemistry of like AGM and lead acid batteries and what they're designed to do. They're not really meant for what we do, quick discharges and stuff like that. They're meant to be able to do power and turn a crankshaft at 8.4 volts and do it effectively in low, cold weather, or hot, whatever. And from my understanding, you know, it seems like the AGMs just, I mean, they might have so much capacitance, like a XS3100 might have, 110 amp hours, and it can discharge 5,000 amps, but that's all the way down to like 8 volts, you know, and they rate it so differently, and we can't use 8.4 volts in most systems. So I feel like they could, if they really wanted to, do some testing to figure that out, but it might be inconclusive for what we're doing. And I feel like it's gonna, if you look at it on a graph compared to any lithium, it's just gonna tank quickly. Just because if you look at any lead acid, AGM versus lithium, any kind of lithium, the discharge curve, lithiums are pretty straight, and then they die. AGM lead acid, I mean, it's just flooded acid. They have a natural, just slow drop and then fall off. And that could be a negative with car audio. Well, not even car audio, but anything electrical. You know, you think you're good, and then your batteries are just dead. No clear indication of when that happens. So C rating, I know. I would tell you this though, from my experience, they'll discharge a ton of current. They'll drop down. I've seen 9.9s clamping 4,000 watts out of 2 CX1800s in Kayla's car, and I mean, it did it. And that's 500 amps, and that's 5C, if you want to consider it that, because it was XS3100. So at least does 5C. But is that continuous? Probably not. And continuous at 9 volts? No. You know, I mean, that they're just, that goes to show that they're not these high power batteries, and they're huge. They weigh 70 pounds, and they're 12 inches by 8 by 4, like 6 or something. Like, they're just huge. And it's just no competition. It really isn't. I would almost consider an AGM as a solar battery, where it's meant for low discharge, not even 1C, maybe definitely 1C, but like 100 amps. And that's where you will see them shine. And even when you have more discharge on that kind of battery, at least, you'll see that amp hour capacity actually drops because the current's higher. And it's not really designed in that way. So C rating with that, I know I would love to actually be able to test for that. Maybe I can talk to Travis Young. I know he does all that stuff. I think that would be the guy to ask. Very good question. Thank you, Dub. WWW. Okay, I didn't make it clear, sorry, but I bought the Jag 35 battery for the back already. Okay, Cool. So you were asking about the lead acid and front switch AGM. Okay. I wouldn't even mess with the lead acid unless you need to replace it. Most of your power is going to be coming from that Jag 35, the Eve 660. Eve 60. Eve! That one. So I would just run an isolator because AGM and lithium are darn close. Especially when you buy them new. Like AGMs are supposed to sit at like 13.3, 13.4-ish. And so is lithium iron phosphate. But the difference is, at least with like state of charge, a lithium iron phosphate that's 3.2 volts per cell will sit at 13.4 fully charged, 4 in series, at fully charged at 13.4, and then next thing you know, 13.3, 13.2, you're at 30% state of charge. Now in AGM, it's not the case. 13.2, you're still at 90%, 85% state of charge. So they're not really ideal to mix, but do they work better than a lead acid, flooded lead acid? Absolutely. Just of like the regular type, not the absorbed glass mat of AGM. So I would just get an isolator big time, and then don't even worry about it. Instead of getting that AGM up front, just get an isolator and keep your lead acid. You'll be good, man. You really will. Thank you again for the $5 super chat. And what do we got to do?
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it.
You just got to look at it. Thank you so much, Trap. Appreciate you tuning in. Man, this guy's awesome, man. I like seeing new people come to the show and have questions, and that's literally what I do this for. Love you guys. Recoil is real good. Keyboard MVP, and he makes you just want to look at it. Frank the Tank, what is up? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Sound Doctor. I appreciate you tuning in. Man, have the Sound Doctor tell you that was good advice. Means a lot, man. Thank you, buddy. And, I try at least. And that's the thing, man. I've been doing a lot of research on my own, and that's what you guys need to do too a little bit, where it's just like, on your offset time, you're in your car just sitting there bored waiting for your wife to go get the groceries, and you're just sitting there. Go look up different lithium chemistries. Go look up C rating. Go look up different batteries. And there's a lot of different places that'll kind of help you. But, the best way to learn is by doing research. I know, it's school. I didn't pay attention for a darn. But here I am, pretty much being a teacher, helping and explaining things. And doing research, and it really is. But that's why I like doing the show too, for the people that don't want to take out the time and just want to ask questions and learn. And hey, they're just stumped by one thing. I got you, man. I'll help you out. And if you got any other questions, and you guys learn along the way too, and that's the craziest thing, man. I love helping people out, and then next thing you know, it's like they're either helping somebody else out or they're figuring out their own stuff by information that I told them, just some other degree though. And it's just great. And it's just to see them grow. It's awesome. Thank you, Sound Doctor. Appreciate you. 38 minutes ish. We're already at 48 on the ticker. Would you look at that? You just gotta look at it. Just avoid energy AGM batteries. They suck. I'm not going to say they suck because they got their pros too, for starting and just low discharge. I guess you could even say capacity, but lithium iron phosphate 100 amp cells that are meant for solar power, they're in the same footprint, but they weigh a quarter of the, amount, and they got way more cycles into them than an AGM, but not too much more, but more. They're not as good as like lithium ion or lithium titanate and even the sodium and just other different chemistries. And, you can get down the rabbit hole of energy density, the different chemicals of the anode and cathode, and what you're mixing together to make your different voltages and what's more energy dense and all this other stuff. I wouldn't say they suck, but it is definitely yesterday's paper for sure. Jason Grant, if AGM battery companies publicize their C ratings, they will lose 50% of their sales. And I feel like, you're right. I feel like they can take a little bit more of over abuse than maybe a lithium could, just because they are bigger, maybe because the internal resistance is higher. I don't know, because they are in most cases. but that's why they can't discharge and recharge as fast. I feel like, your voltage is going to drop, but if you put an 8K on it, it might not die as fast as maybe like a little down for sound 6.0 LTO 5 series. And dropping that down to 8 volts, I feel like you might do more damage to that, but then that's comparing a little battery this big to one that's this big. So, yeah, I feel like they would probably lose a little bit, especially with lithium and how it's becoming more readily available. More companies are doing it, selling their own pre-built battery, and it really is insane, man. I feel like they might, and I really need to talk to Travis about it. I really do. Love you, Garrick. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate all you guys. Todd says he needs a tool. I need a tool. Appreciate you, Todd. You got to, man. And it's just, I'm not normal. I know a lot of you guys love car audio. That's why you're watching. I just feel like I like it way too much, and that's why I do this stuff too. And it's just always on my mind. Even if it's not on my mind, it's on my mind in some degree. I'm bringing up something, and I mean it just comes with doing this show too, and all this stuff. But I like learning about it, and it's definitely way more interesting than English class. But I can talk, I can spell. Like some people. I love it all. I really do, and it's awesome that you guys do research. You have to. And I'm not telling you, okay, go read the encyclopedia 3 times and come back to me. But, it's just, the information is out there. And it's readily available. And I even watch other places, too, that aren't even car audio, like Jack35. I wouldn't say he's a car audio channel by any means, but he does stuff that's relatively close to the same. And now that all this Glow batteries and Brad and everybody else getting involved, he's kind of dipping his feet into the car audio scene, which is cool. Really is. And you can always find information like that everywhere. But I would go to the higher subscriber people just because, I don't know, you'll be able to read the comments, see if they're right or wrong. Bobby B, you are late to the party. You are late to the party.
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Uncle Bobby B.
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Garrick, Andy will running all copper in my system build. Help me move as much power as I can get. Okay. So, copper, I'm guessing you're going to ask, OFC versus CCA. I know a lot of people will, go to the death of say, CCA is great, it's cheaper, blah, 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 blah. OFC is overpriced. But to keep things simple, OFC is more conductive than copper-clad aluminum. It just is. And you can look at weight, price, extra labor of, maybe doing 2 runs of CCA versus the OFC to be comparative of the amount of current and efficiency the wire has and voltage drop stuff. Kicker has done awesome demonstrations on it. I have it on my channel, but it's very old. I would love to do one myself, but I hate going down that road because people love CCA, and there's no reason not to run it. But if you're doing your system, when you do your power wire, your ground, that is your foundation of your system. That's almost like saying, hey, I'm going to build my house out of, maybe these sticks instead of stone, and they both work fine, but you need twice the sticks to be as strong as a stone. And not saying one's cheaper or whatever in the long run, which sometimes OFC is, sometimes CCA, depending where you're getting it. But the labor involved, you have to use twice the materials to be as efficient. And that's why OFC just wins in my book. You do see companies selling CCA, but honestly, if they're selling power wire and they sell subwoofers and amplifiers, it's usually OFC unless it's a cheaper brand in general, and they're just trying to give you the cheapest setup because it's cheaper than the one at Best Buy. And you don't know any better. It's CCA. I'm going with that one, $29.99. I'll take that over the $119 4-gauge kit. Meanwhile, it's OFC. It could take over twice the current. And, hey, maybe it's 3 times more expensive, but it could do a lot more than that $29.99 one can do. And it all really does come down to budget, but honestly, I wouldn't waste your time. That's the simplest way of putting it. I wouldn't waste your time. Appreciate you, Garrick, and yeah, OFC, you can, like they said on Kicker Unmasked tonight, you can never have too much power wire per se for your power. And I know sometimes I cut it close on some things where I'm just, let's see what we can do. I mean, the KXA or CXA 1800s that are wired at half ohm, they got 4 gauge going about a foot, but it's only a foot. And that's the thing where you got to learn of just current over length, and the different types of material you're using dictates that too. And the conductivity of the efficiency of the wire and how much heat it can handle and current and all that fun stuff. So yeah, copper is definitely the way to go. But like I said, I wouldn't waste your time on the cheaper stuff. I just wouldn't. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We got 34 out of nowhere. I appreciate you guys. Man, why is this is lagging over here for some reason randomly, and I don't know why. That's weird. That's really far behind. See, now it just went like a half an hour behind. I'm just trying to see how many people are watching the show here. That's all I'm just trying to do here. Still see Jason's super chat there. Appreciate you, Garrick. Appreciate all you guys. We got Ashy up in the house. What is up? Thank you for tuning in, man. CCA short runs are good. I mean, again, it just comes down to knowing how much current you can get out of said length of said wire, and that's it. So when you're looking at, power charts, is it OFC or is it CCA? And I feel like maybe some power charts are missing that. They're thinking you got OFC. Meanwhile, you got CCA. You might not be able to get that much current out of that long run. So it really does all depend. Jason, AGM is power dense, high potential. And in our niche of electrical needs, that is not optimal. Again, they are power dense. I mean, you got to think though with the weight and stuff. And if you're just looking at capacitance, you can get a lithium iron phosphate, solar battery that's the same size and weighs a quarter of the weight. So, but the price is not the same. It's probably about twice that. Because I would think it's about 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate, probably around $400, $500. Let me take a gander here. LiPo, LiP, well, LiFe, PO4, and then 100 amp hour. I'm just going to look that up because it's going to tell me some solar stuff. Yeah, see that? They're expensive. Well, this one's right here for $300, but I don't trust it. I've seen that brand once or twice. I've seen this one. These are really expensive batteries, but they probably do rated. And let's see what else we got here. $600. That's kind of the ball field I thinking it was going to do. And capacity is capacity. So the AGM would probably win if weight is not a concern, and its price and capacitance of the just being power dense and high potential. So absolutely everything kind of has its place, man, and that's what's great about today. We have so many options. Back then they're like, here's subwoofer, here's amplifier, here's battery. Good luck. We don't. What? You said you need an alternator. What year are you from? Oh, I just got out of my DeLorean here. Yeah, I'm gonna need one of those. I heard you guys are gonna make them in 5 years. Ashy with a $5 super chat.
Well, would you look at that? Oh my gosh! Just look at it. Just look at it.
You just gotta look at it. 27 likes. 28. Oh, look at that. Soon as Ashy talks, we got 31 likes. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. Average view duration 20 minutes. All right, so we got to cut the show down to 20 minutes then. Just kidding. I appreciate you guys. That equals out everyone else coming and going. But I watch other live streams, right? And I look, how many views I get. I can't see all this stuff. And I'm like, you got about 400 views, but 10 likes on the live. That means people were coming and they weren't staying. But you're getting more foot traffic, and that's great, to get your live stream going. But you guys, man, I look at it, it's like 150 views, and it's like 56 likes, and it's like, okay, so every third person stayed pretty much for the entirety of the show, or at least a big portion of it, and, took the time and smashed the like. So you guys are awesome. The community we have here is great. I love you guys so much. And I think on that note, we're just going to end it. We already went over our half an hour mark, but we had a lot of good questions today. And I don't know, man. I will see you guys Friday. I'll try to get the video of the L7X, and I don't know if I'm going to have the Plananos connected in the pilot yet. That's going to be a whole thing because I got to build a box for that. And that's another thing you're paying for when you're buying the pre-built boxes. You don't have to do any of that stuff. And connect the BMS, all that. And it's going to be fun, but you guys are going to see it. I'm going to give a lot of stuff to, progress and some videos. We'll see you guys. I love you. This was the Unmasked After Show. Again, John, Ernie, and the gang. Awesome show tonight. You guys hanging in at the after party. Do not forget to go to the after party. Well, this is the after show. That's the after party. First half hour, we just kick back, relax. Want to play games after that? We do Discord games, if you know what that is. Sorry, I'm about 90 years old. Still learning this Discord. All right, guys, I love you so much. And as always, stay living loud. I will see you guys Friday. Wait. One more time.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it.
You just gotta look at it.
Okay. So we're kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. We living loud. For tuning in, and 25, we're about to get the horse collar on you. We're gonna do it. I love you guys. Thank you for watching the outro. We'll see you in the after party, huh? Stay living loud.
layout looks so clean. I love it that MD looks good back there with the AGM. Yep, we got them all mixing together. Works great. And 25. Oh man, so it's true. He's got a hermit crab. I knew it. And you know what, 25? I don't think anyone's taking the caboose, you know, because Cornet's not here. He's watching airplanes, and I get it. Oh, look, there's me over there. Where am I at? Over here. Gone. There. Nope. No one's here. Still got 20 people here. All right, cool. I guess we'll... Oh, no. Bubba's coming in with the $5 super chat because we got to do it.
Would you look at that? Oh, my gosh. Just look at it. Just look at it.
You just got to look at it. Love you guys. I'll see you in the after party.